anyway, this device is called the external counterpulsation device, ECP. And basically it has these pads that fit around your ankles and thighs. You lay down and they strap, the attendant puts these on your legs. Your thighs and your hips. So you see, you get yourself quite bundled up. And this machine right here then is hooked up to me by there's some electrodes on my heart, and so the heart tells the machine when the heart is contracting and when it's relaxing. So as the heart contracts, the blood goes from my heart down to my legs. Okay? In that moment that my blood is down in my legs, this machine turns on and these then squeeze. You see, so every time the blood is pushed down to my legs, just at that moment when it's reached its peak, the blood is at its peak down there in my legs, this turns on and squeezes the blood backwards, and so I get a sharp pulse of blood back up the aorta, up into the heart, and into the coronary artery, because during the time of the heart relaxing, so the heart has contracted and now it's starting to relax because the blood has been pushed out, okay? So as the heart is relaxing, because it's just pushed the blood out, the valve closes. See, the blood has gone out, then it closes. As the aortic valve closes, then the blood from the aorta comes backwards and it goes into the coronary artery. And the coronary artery gets fed oxygen and blood while the heart is resting. Okay? So the heart itself doesn't feed itself with blood. It has to get a rebound of the pressure from the aorta because the aorta expands and contracts. So the heart pumps the blood out, the aorta opens up and expands, and the pressure goes up. And as the heart relaxes and the valve shuts, that pressure that has been accumulated in the aorta goes backwards into the coronary artery, dilates the coronary artery, and opens it up, and that then causes what is called shear stress. And shear stress causes new blood vessels to form in the heart. So this process stimulates the formation of new blood vessels in the heart. And so you get increased capillaries. It's sort of like going up to Big Bear or Pikes Peak and running around for a half an hour at high altitude. And in that process of doing that, you make new blood vessels, and they're called collaterals. And these collaterals then protect you from having a heart attack. So if you have a blood clot and your coronary artery becomes plugged up because of an atherosclerotic plaque, because you've been eating too much cholesterol, your coronary artery becomes plugged up and you lose blood supply. But if you've got all these collaterals, then the collaterals feed the oxygen to the heart and you don't have a heart attack because you've got all these extra blood vessels. And so this device makes new blood vessels in your heart. It also makes new blood vessels in the brainstem. So if you've had a stroke or if you have Parkinson's, it's very good for the treatment of these conditions as well. So if you have a medullary stroke or a brainstem stroke or a basal ganglia stroke, we use external counterpulsation for treatment of those in combination with hyperbaric oxygen and stroke and other therapies that we use, the growth factors and whatnot as well. It also works for the eye. So if you have macular degeneration, the blood flow goes to the eye, goes up the aorta, up through the carotids, right up to the head, and increases the circulation to the eye. And the eye that is suffering from macular degeneration, the reason why you suffer from macular degeneration is because of poor blood supply. And this device helps make the blood supply to your macula improve, and therefore your vision returns. So we're all wired up. I've got a pulse oximeter here to measure my oxygen content. I've got electrodes on my heart. And the PAT is sort of like that same thing. Both of them is basically adenosine. You're releasing adenosine. So this is expending energy and burning up your ATP. And adenosine is a vasodilator and opens up the circulation so the stem cells can get into the tissues better. And this generates VEGF as well, vascular endothelial growth factor, which stimulates the stem cells to grow and increases capillaries to grow, so you have increased collateral circulation throughout your body. Of all the treatments we have, physical treatments, this is the best in terms of making new blood vessels throughout your body. And aging is associated with a diminishment of blood vessels throughout your body. So you keep your blood vessels up and all the small capillaries intact, you live for a long time.